Box Guitars, and this Buzz Box guitar that I made. This is how to play a 12-bar blues. Just if you're starting to get into cigar box guitar, this is a really good starting spot. Rather than playing individual notes, you just want to get general strumming going and some good rhythms going, so that you start to work through your rhythm, so you know what you're playing in each bar of music. So we've got just a standard 12-bar blues here. Now, this is for a cigar box guitar that's tuned as a G, D, and G. So if that's what you've got, that's exactly what's going to work. Now, if you've got a 4-string, it's still going to work. If it's G, D, G, D again, or G, D, G, B, that's going to work. And even if you're in a different key, a different tuning, this is standard stuff for a cigar box guitar. So get the slide on. You want the slide, to be big enough so it reaches across all strings, whether it's 3 or 4 strings. You don't want a short, stubby one that is only designed to pick out one note. You want something that's designed that can play right across the strings and can play right across the strings easily. So a reasonable size one that will nicely fit across there. So we'll play through the 12-bar blues, but watch out at the end too, because I've got some nice little bonus bits, extra bits that really make it sound good. So first of all, we've got 3 chords in a blues song. That's nice, isn't it? That's all we really need is 3 chords. So it's the open strum like that. That's the main chord, and that's why we tune it to this, so we can play an open G tuning. So that is a G chord. No fingers, no slide, and that's a G chord. Now, depending on your model, but the way it's been made, but most people will put them with dots at the side. And the first dot is one of the blues notes. It's up at B flat, but it's that second dot, the one on what's the equivalent of the 5th fret on a guitar. That's the C chord. And then further up, this 3rd dot would be the D chord. And so they're the 3. So we've got the open G, miss the first dot, go up to that one on what's the equivalent of the 5th fret, 2nd dot, and test it too. If you're not sure, there's dots missing on yours or whatever, just test it with this. Does it sound? Okay, you've got that tuned to G, that should be right. Move this up to that one. Does that sound the same? There's that C chord. And finally, next dot is the D chord. So that's on mine is the 3rd fret, and it's the equivalent it is the D chord on this. So again, that's the beauty of the slide and the open tuning, that as we lay it across, we get a full chord there, whereas on a normal guitar we have to finger all that, but we can just lay it across and get the full chord. Strumming. We want a nice, simple strumming pattern, but something that kind of sounds cool as well. So we're just playing a down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Now in music we count that. There's 4 beats in the bar, so 1, 2, 3, 4. But after the 3rd beat, we're throwing in a quick 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're doing an up strum. So the rule is whenever there's an and beat, do an up. So down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. And now we're playing through a 12-bar blues. So it's a particular pattern that always shows up in blues songs, and it's 12 bars, and it just repeats over and over and over within the song. You might do it 10 times, 20 times, depending on how long the song goes for. But it's the same pattern of chords, and that's what we've got up here that we'll be playing through. So we start off with 4 bars of G. So it's down, 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 up, down, down, down. Now coming to C up on that 2nd dot. Back to G. Up to the D. Down to the C, back to the open G, and finally back up to the D again, and we're ready to start again. So that is the 12 bars, that's the pattern like that. Each time, each bar has got to be a down, 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 up, down. We're doing that 12 times within this chord progression. So let me play through it again like that. these 12-bar blues. Now you hear some rattling kind of sounds there because it will sound better if now I use the slide as a slide and instead of just banging on C. I remember too, when you're playing these chords with a slide, you don't want to press too hard. Just enough so there's no rattling, just enough like that. But don't press down to the timber. You want it just resting on top like that. Now it's going to sound better if we don't just bang it on there, but we actually slide up to that note. So start back, I don't know, a couple of inches back, doesn't really matter, just so you get enough. And that is the first strum. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So down, 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 up, down. Like that. So you're starting back there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to do that for any time that we're sliding between. And what sounds good too is if you slide always up. So in the last line of a 12-bar blues, we start up here in D. The next one is the C, so coming behind. Rather than sliding down to it, lift, come in behind it and slide up to it, and you get a really cool sound by doing, this upward sounding slide all the time. So now let me try and play. I'll play through it with the slides at it. Nice strumming pattern that we'll just repeat over and over. We're getting those nice slides in. Now I said there'd be an extra kind of bonus bits I think that you'll like to try and add to it, and that's when we finally get to, well, the first one is when we finally get to the D chord at the very end, rather than going put in, which sounds very cool of course, and that is playing from the C up halfway between and then the D like that. So that's adding what's called the blues note in between there, and you get that again, which sounds very cool. So the final line now is going to be so you're going the equivalent of the 5th fret, then the 6th fret, then the 7th fret. So it's C. In music we say C sharp is in between, and then D as the final chord. Just bring that in. And again, throwing in some slides as you go makes it sound really nice. And the last thing you can do as a bit of an introduction, rather than just coming straight in with D, finish it off with the last line. So again, in music, it's just called a last line introduction. So you'll be playing. And then start. So there it is. That's the 12-bar blues in G with some nice slides in it. And it's a good basic one to get started with. So you get your chords going and try and play along with it. Now look out for my video just around here somewhere. That's just a play along with that, and all I do is just play through it 4 times, and it's probably a nice one to try and get your rhythm going and just use it as like a backing track to play your songs with. So thank you for listening. If you like these videos, please subscribe, and I'll catch you next time around. Thanks.